Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing tonight? How's everybody out there doing? You guys let me know what's going on out there today. We are coming at you with episode 61, maybe 62 of the Mayhem show. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is 4:46. We got Ernest the Cat Miller in the house tonight, guys. It is going to be amazing. I cannot wait to do this. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. So come in, bring your friends, share this out, let everybody know that we are about to bring it with Ernest the Cat Miller, ladies and gentlemen. And without any further ado, we're just going to bring him on, guys. We're just going to bring him on right now. Guys, we're going to talk a little bit about the WCEWF Wrestling on Instagram. Make sure to check it out. It is basically a pick federation where fantasy meets wrestling. You guys can see the figures behind me. I'm basically making a little pick photography federation. We're gonna be doing it over there on Instagram. Go check it out. Until then, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna bring on Mr. Ernest Miller, Ernest the Cat Miller in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey man, you see, I got my shades on. I got a very big bright light right here for some reason. So I'm gonna do. How do this look?
That looks great, man.
I want you to tell me, does it look good or do I need to take it off?
Actually, I'm going to be absolutely real with you, and everybody out there can attest to this. I'm real to everybody. Ernest, those glasses are sweet, man.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Now we're in Hollywood.
All right, so the first thing is first, everybody. We're going to hit them with the first question we hit everybody with. Out of all the places that you've traveled across the U.S. and the world, what was your favorite place to eat at?
You know what? I went to London, and I had this place called Fish and Chips. It was really nice. I enjoyed that. Oh man! The name of it, I don't know the name of it. I can't remember the name. I just remember it was Fish and Chips.
So I'm a huge fish and chips fan. We got a place out here in Arvada, kind of close to Denver, if you ever get a chance while you're out here, called GB Fish and Chips, and they're absolutely amazing.
Oh man, it was so. I might have just been hungry because that's when we traveled over there. I remember going over there the very first time to London with the WCW, and we went out, man. I mean, we just traveled the whole place over there. We traveled the whole London just from top to bottom. We did about 3 shows over there. I was traveling with Sid Vicious, Big Van Vader, a lot of the old WCW gang.
Well, we're going to get to stories about that tonight because that's definitely something I want to hear about. As we talk about what we usually lead into is, where did you get into wrestling? Tell us a little bit about your karate career starting out, and tell us what you were doing in high school to make you kind of go this route. And how did you figure out that you wanted to be a wrestler?
Well, this don't sound kind of funny, but I never wanted to be a wrestler. I enjoyed watching it on TV, but I thought I would go be this big time Hall of Fame karate guy, and that's what I did. Started when I was young, 11 years old, taking martial arts, going to karate school, winning many karate tournaments, and along the way, I was introduced to playing football. So I became like a high school football star, All-American. I went out to college and played college 3 years and decided, okay, I'm going to take a try at playing in the NFL. So I went to the NFL and I tried my hand at that for about 5 years. I tried out with at least 2 teams every year for 5 years. Till the last year, I decided, you know what, I want to do something else because football really wasn't taking off like I expected or like I thought it would for me. So I decided just to step away from it, and I decided to go back into karate, martial arts.
Who were the teams that you tried out for?
New York Jets, New England Patriots, New York Giants, Atlanta Falcons, Winnipeg Blue Bombers in Canada, And guess what? They all cut me. Yeah, yeah. They
Did you
all.
ever did you ever make it to the regular season?
I made it to the regular season with the Jets, and I originally signed to play with in the USFL, United States Football League, with the New Jersey Generals.
Where'd you
That's
play
how I got
where'd
to New
you
York.
play college at?
I played college in Savannah, Georgia, down at Savannah State University. Middle linebacker, where I was Division II All-American and Defensive Player of the Year, middle linebacker. So I had a pretty good college career. It was just NFL was a little different. I couldn't get with the right team, couldn't. I was either too small or was not too small or too big to play the position they wanted me to play, which would have been like maybe a linebacker or a strong safety. So anyway, I went through that football for 5 years. I went back home and I said, you know what? I want to find something to do. I'm gonna go back to school and finish my degree. My major was electrical engineering. So I decided to go back to school, finish that, and then start teaching karate. But once I got into karate, that competitive side of me had a little itch. So I started competing again. And I won a bunch of karate tournament, national karate tournament. Paul Mitchell hair product. Guy decided to start sponsoring me, so I started going everywhere, Japan, everywhere, just fighting in karate tournament, and became
What
one.
was what was Japan like? Sorry to cut you off. What was
Man,
Japan?
Japan, great man, it was great, man. Went to Tokyo and did this big karate tournament where I won first place, and the people over there loved me. So, I came back home. Then I went to Germany. I fought in Germany, fought in France. I did Australia. So, I was doing pretty good in karate. Then I was back here in the States. I taught karate to a bunch of kids. So after karate, I decided to start trying my hand at the professional league where I can make a little money. And that was in the kickboxing circuit. And I was on the ISKA, International Karate Circuit. And there I had about 8 fights, undefeated. I won the world kickboxing heavyweight championship for them. And at that time, I think that's when I met a kid in my class that I was teaching that happened to be Garrett Bischoff. He was about maybe 12 years old then. He was one of my students. I think his mom took a liking to me and he did too. So I started working with him in some private classes. He wanted to fight a little bit. Didn't know much about his father. But, later on, I found out that his father was Eric Bischoff, who also at that time came up, watched me and watched how I work with the kid, took a liking to me. And he watched me fight. He came to one of my fights. And it was just a fight. It was an easy fight. All my fights were easy.
So can we watch those? Is there a place that we can actually watch those fights? Are they on YouTube?
A couple of, if you go in and put Ernest a little karate fight, they got some of my fights on the internet. Back then not everybody had a camera phone then. So
right.
And I fought a couple of big name guys. I worked in the ring with Rick Rufus, Jerry Rome, Bill Superfoot Wallace. These were some of the top name fighters around, and by that time, UFC was getting ready to start. So I remember these guys coming to me one day at my karate school, and they had heard about me, and they said, "Hey, would you like to make some money?" Then I was like, "Depends on doing what." They said, "Well, we know you're a good fighter, so we gonna rent out this space down in Buckhead. That's a place here in Atlanta that a lot of clubs and people come. It's the high roller kind of area of Atlanta. At that time it was. So these guys came down. It was all business guys. And one of them was this millionaire guy that I knew that did a lot of boxing, stuff like that. And I said, yeah, so just tell me what I need to do. They said, be here Friday night. And we'll set you up with a fight. If you win, we're going to pay you just for coming. But if you win, you get paid too. So when I went there, no rings. It was an empty ass warehouse. Nothing there, no mats down, just people standing around watching. So I was like, what kind of fight is this? So they said what they're gonna do, they're gonna pair you up with somebody your height, maybe your size. In this case, Ernest, the guy here for you is a boxer. He's a boxer and a wrestler. So you'll be, and he's a cop up in Rhode Island somewhere. So he said you'll be fighting him. So they pointed him out to me, and at that time I was about 218 pounds. This guy had to be about 6'6", 360 pounds.
Jeez.
Well, I mean muscle, white dude, muscle. Didn't smile. He would just look just nasty. He was just. I looked at him when we did the weigh in just to see the weight. I was like, man, you can see this guy's bigger than me, about 50 pounds or more. And he didn't say nothing the whole time. So when the fight started, I looked around. It was a lot of like business guys that I recognized. And one of them came in, man. They looked like they looked like the Japanese mafia. This guy came in, had the glasses on, had bodyguards. He was standing in the corner. Guys worked for Ted Turner, Eric Bishop. They were standing in another corner. And then, they had people just standing around. So I didn't know what kind of plays I was in, but I knew what I had to do. I wanted to get that money and get the hell out of there. Because at the time, I was the only black boy in the house. I was like, no, baby, it can't be. We can't go down like that. I'm gonna get this money. I'm gonna win. Then I'm gonna get my ass out of here. So they lined me up. They lined me up with the guy. We started the fight, and I remember before we even started the fight, he just took his hand and just pushed me in my face. And when he pushed me in my face like that, I smiled. And I guess he thought I was going to get mad because that's what they usually want you to do when you fight. People love an emotional fighter because when you're an emotional fighter, you go with the way you feel. If you feel you win in the fight, you're going to have a little energy. You're going to give a little something. But when you can, even if you're winning and you feel like you're losing the fight as an emotional fighter, you'll just go downhill from there. So I'm always a fighter that kind of go off. Like I like to show off. I like to show the world what I can do. I don't want to just beat you so these guys can see here. If I beat your ass, I want the internet to hear about it. I want everybody to hear about it. I want to tell the world. I wasn't calling my mama at that time. I was not calling my mama at that time because it hadn't been developed yet. So anyway, I fought this guy, man, and I remember everybody told me this guy walked over to me and told me, said, you're going to probably lose this, but don't worry about it because we can bring you back in another, because these will be rounds. And I said, what you call this? And he said, we just call it kind of like a mixed martial arts. And I was like, oh, okay. And he just said, now I said, he walked away, and I said, by the way, there's no way I'm going to lose. And, laughed. Said, there's no way I'm going to lose. So the fight started, and this guy kept trying to corner me up against the wall, just corner me in. He couldn't do that. I was too fast for him. My hands were too fast. My kicking surprised them that I could kick like that and punch like that. And I just beat the guy up for about 5 minutes. I beat him up till it wasn't no stop. The fight, when the fight started, the fight went on until somebody quit. This guy quit. He started complaining about some of the tape he had on his hand, wrist. They stopped it, put it back on. Every time I hit him, I know he stopped with something. And right before the fight, like I said, one guy came to me and said, you're going to lose, but you can always do. So in the middle of the fight, right when I knew I had him, he was trying to grab me. He couldn't grab time. He reached for me. I hit him in the nose. He reached for me again. I kick him in the knees. Then he reached for me again, and I just danced on his head with these left and rights and 1-2s. So when it was over, I turned to the guy and I said, what did you say? He said, what? I said, did you really think I was going to lose? I said, that's all you got right there. Anybody else in here? I'm tired. I'm still ready to fight another fight. This was 5 minutes, but I'm not tired. Give me somebody else. Let me have the big guy standing in the corner. Let me have that guy over there too. Let me have that. And everybody started laughing. I was just talking. But in the crowd was Dana White, Eric Bischoff, and these guys. And these guys right here came over to me to kind of rush me a little bit. Eric Bischoff, me and Eric said, let's go to lunch. Let's go to dinner. Let's go to dinner when we left there. So we left there and they took me somewhere I've never been before. And it was kind of a mystery place. You know, I went and sat down and I'm looking around like, what the hell is this? You know, and he said, oh, this is a sushi place. And I was like, bro, I don't eat, what is sushi? Raw fish? I don't eat raw fish. You know, I thought maybe we can go to a barbecue place. You know, let me get some barbecue beef tips, you know? But he said, no, this is a good place. Just try it. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. There's Eric Bischoff talking. His son, Garrett, I know who Garrett is. So me and Eric talking, he said, I got a couple of friends coming. So I turn around, and then he said, oh, here they come now. The door opened, and a big black limousine pulled up in front. Black with the window tinted and everything. 3 Japanese guys get out and go to the back door and pull it open. And it was late at night. Pull it open the door. And this guy, Japanese guy, get out with all like black on. And they all, and man, they looked like they was in order. And I was like, wait a minute, how he get so coordinated with his limo? I know he did not drive that limo from Japan to get over here. So it had to be ready. I mean, it was one, the limo was just, you know, you could tell the limo one of those kind of pimped out rides too. You know, had everything inside, TV, refrigerator. So anyway, when this guy came in, they sit down, didn't speak any English. One guy spoke English with them. And we sit down and start talking. And I found out that was Master Ishii. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Master Ishii owned a fight league in Japan called K1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was the guy that owned K1. So him, Eric, Rick Rufus, and myself, we sat down. And these guys started talking about me like I wasn't there. You know, Ishii was like, we'd like to see him fight in the Tokyo Dome against such and so and such and so. We can have 100,000 people there. We'd love to fight. And then Eric said, well, what I'm thinking about doing is starting him in the WCW. I said, WCW? He said, yeah, I'm going to talk to you about that later. He said, starting you in the WCW to build your name. And once we build your name, Ernest, if you don't like wrestling, we'll send you over to Japan for 3 months. You can go to Japan and work and make all the money you want. Then come here and teach your karate class and do whatever you want to. But he said, let us build your name. Isha said, no, we can take him over there right now. So, you know, that conversation went on for a while. Then at the end, they asked me what would I like to do. And I told Eric, I talked to him, you know, in private, you know, after we, you know, after I get this damn sushi off my plate. And, you know, and the meeting ended pretty good. You know, it ended to somebody looked at me, one of the guys, I won't call no name, but one of the guys looked at me and said, hey, I'm going to make you a very, very wealthy man. So I was like, that's the kind of man I've always wanted to be. You know, so we'll talk about it. So when we left the table, you know, I went back the next day to teaching wrestling. Eric Bischoff called me and said, hey, Kat, I want you to come down to my office. Ernest, I want you to come down to my office, and I want you to sign a couple of papers. We're going to start working you here at WCW. And that's right before the big time hit. You know, this was like in 96, 97. So when I got down there, they said, here, we're going to pay you more. I got paid more than I was making damn near 6 months in 1 week of wrestling and just going to school at the power plant with Sarge and those guys down there. But here, let me let you ask me some questions.
No. So this is perfect. So actually what's going on is we asked, for all those guys tuning in right now, we asked Mr. Miller here how we got into wrestling. And he has basically took us all the way up through his karate career into the moment that he sits down with Mr. Bischoff and goes to WCW. I mean, that was literally boom. Did you do any indie work before that? Or did you literally go from the karate I mean, the kickboxing right in to the wrestling.
Let me tell you this one, and I like to tell stories about. I want to give you an answer. The answer is no. I did no indies. Most people don't understand what I did, but the guys who work with me, that's why they all respect me. The Rock, Stone Cold, the Undertaker. When he first met me, he came up to me and said, "Man, I'm a fan of yours. I love watching you." These guys, these guys understood that I came into the business at its height without any background, without knowing anything about wrestling. And I didn't just come in, I came in and got over faster than anybody. You know,
Absolutely.
my father wasn't there before me. I didn't have an uncle who wrestled.
I know exactly what you're saying. Yep.
Yeah, this is just somebody who believed in me. And I spent every day down in the power plant. And those guys were great down there, man. That Sarge and Pez Watley, I was down there with DDP. I was down there, you know, at that time, 97, 96, 97, up to 99, I think, 2000. Man, that was every professional wrestler in the business had either been a star or was a star. You know, you had people like Hacksaw Jim Duggan on the working the Saturday mornings stuff. You know, the show that was usually for people that didn't work on the Monday shows. Not that they couldn't, but they just wasn't part of that roster at that time, but they were still getting paid. Man, I got to meet some of my idols, man, when because I used to watch wrestling when I was a little boy. You know, I used to watch, and I keep saying little boy, but when I was young, you know, I used to watch Sid Vicious. You know, before I came to wrestling, I even thought find my suit. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, all those guys. I knew who those guys was, man. To find myself sitting in the catering hall with them one day, doing the same thing that they're doing. I looked over the table, Ric Flair. Looked over to my right, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man. And these guys wasn't just people I worked with. These guys all became my friends. You know, we all friends. You know, Chris Jericho, Dean Malenko, all of work, man. We worked hard in the business, and we really carried the torch. You know, 97, 98, man, that's when we, the 83 weeks, that's when we were going head to head with the bigger monster company in the business.
And you know, while you were doing it, you were absolutely killing it. So you first start out, like you talk about, you have charisma right off the bat. So that's kind of what's great about you, man. Like your charisma was off the charts. Like when you think about the most charismatic wrestlers of all time, like you're in the top 5 for sure. Like 100%.
But you know, I did not know. You know what? Somebody say every now and then I'll do a match now. I just go out there because I'm still in great shape, you know. But I will go out there now and do a match, and I will tear the house down wherever I go. And the young guys are like, "Man, Cat, you can still go. I can go and make a crowd right now, cheer me, then do something, make them boo me, then make them bring it back around within one match." That's something guys wanted to do in their whole career. They wanted either to be a bad guy, make the people dislike you, boo you, or they want to be a baby face, somebody that they cheer. And they can't get it. A lot of guys can't get that done either way. But they try years and years and they work at it, just never happened. But if I could have matched my knowledge right now with my abilities when I first got there and I was 34, you know, got into wrestling, if I could put that together now, that'd be the greatest wrestler in the world of all time. All time. I can see it right now. It wouldn't be Ric Flair. It would be Ernest the Cat Miller.
Hell yeah. I mean, you were the greatest of all time. Come on.
Yeah. My mom thought so.
So you're in wrestling at this point. You're in WCW. You were just kind of talking at the beginning of the show about this trip that you took to London. Tell us a little bit about this trip and tell us a little bit about traveling with Big Van Vader, Psycho Sid, guys like this. We've heard stories about Psycho Sid, Arn Anderson. You know, a little bit of the fights between these guys. How was these guys? Were they kind of aggressive, like, and volatile when it came to traveling, or like what was it like?
They all were like, for me, being in the business, being new to the business, but they called me a shooter. I don't know if you know what a shooter is in the wrestling business.
Tell me.
A shooter in the wrestling business, somebody like, let's say like myself, who is deadly for real outside of the ring, that I can shoot on you, me, I can get real on you real fast. So they call me a shooter. Somebody like Ken Shamrock is a shooter because he fought that life. He was a professional fighter before. I would consider a shooter. So these guys really didn't kind of like, not that they was afraid, but we had no beef. You know, it was like around me, I was always quiet, kind of talk when I wanted to, met. If you were my friend, you knew I was. And Big Van Vader, I just picked on him all the time. He was like a big uncle. Everybody was afraid of him, but I'll go around, he'll go to sleep, I'll take his glasses off and hide them, you know, he'll wake up and speak ground. Where's my glasses? Where's my glasses? He will wear some glasses that didn't fit, reading glasses that didn't fit around his head. So he had to turn them sideways, and he will fall asleep with the glasses on. So when he fall asleep with the glasses on, I'll look at him that time. So I decided, you know what? Let me play a little joke on him. I took his glasses off, but the first thing he does when he wake up, he reach for his glasses to fill them, to pull them back on. So he reached for his glasses. He started looking around, and then the guy started laughing. He said, "Where's my glasses?" I was afraid then, I was afraid. This guy's real. He's mean. He's mad now. Oh, shit, I need to get those glasses back to him before he find out I took them. But nobody ever said anything. He was mad, man. This dude was mad. Till I finally got the glasses, and I walked over there. I said, "Here, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for playing the trick or playing. I was just playing." And he looked at me, "Cat, you dirty, you know what?" But he was joking. He was smiling.
Right.
So, I mean, traveling with those guys, man, I'm telling you, like a family. Those guys they was mean to some of the people that they had a relationship with like that. But to me, they was like family. We all protected each other. If somebody needed something on the road and they could do it, they'll do it for you. I mean, wrestling, man, just like I've never been in a circus, but I've been on a college football team. I've been on the NFL team. I traveled with those teams. Wrestlers, man, are even closer together than those guys in the NFL and college football team because we travel, we ride together. It's like we really work for the business. We work to make the business look good. Not at that time, people weren't trying to. It was an individual thing. It was like I got to make my match better than his match, so the whole show would be great. So it was pretty fun traveling with those guys. And some of the stories, holy cow, that's what I was talking about. The stories that you would hear, man, especially Ming and Barbarian tell they joked stories about when they got into fights, and man, they were fighting like 8 cops. 8 cops were fighting 2 guys, and they were beating up all the cops.
Jesus. And was where'd that take place?
Man, I don't know the city, but it was Barb and Ming, and the cops stopped them for something, a ticket, and on the side of the road, hell just broke out from what I understand. And Ming and Barbarian were beating asses left and right. They were working for this guy who had this big sanction down in the South at that time. What's the UW something?
USWF? Or
yes. I think something like that. And I remember they said they had to call the promoter, had to come down to get them out of jail. And the promoter just happened to be like work for the police department.
Right.
So, man, these guys got into stuff on the road that just because our fans were there for us sometimes, we were able to get out of predicaments.
Besides you being one of the toughest guys of all time, Ming and Hawk are like legendary, apparently being like the two toughest guys ever, from what I heard.
You know what? I don't want to give away these little secrets, but I remember Glacier when it was our tag teaming with Glacier, right? Ming and Barbarian looked they looked the part, bro. I mean, they looked like they would just kill they'll kill a man by picking his head out and breaking his arms off his body and then just throw the rest of them in the trash can. Man, listen, and this is in person. This is somebody who, only thing I heard him say was, I didn't know they could speak English. Because they stayed under that mask of who they were, their character. But man, so we got there, and this is the very first match as a team that Glacier and I were going to have together as partners. So we were down in Florida. And I got there, you get there, and then next thing you eat, then they say, hey, the board is up. And you go look at the board, and they tell you what hour and what time you'll be working and who you'll be working. So anyway, I get there, boom, they set the board up. So I went and looked at the board. And when I looked at the board, man, I almost pooped my pants. I was like, what? It was Ernest, the Cat Miller, and Glacier versus Ming and Barbarian. Man, let me tell you something. I could, from there on, my heart started pounding out my chest. I was like, man, and think about this now. Think about this. I've fought real fight with some of the baddest guys around kickboxing, Ernesto Hoost, Raymond Daniels. These are karate guys, man. Jerry, Billy Blanks. These are karate guys who was like fierce competitors. So here I am now. I'm in wrestling on TV, and my heart feel like I've never been this afraid before. Like, what are they gonna do to us? It did. So they came when I asked that, because they wasn't nowhere there yet. They used to wait to the last minute just to go glance at the board. Then they'll start getting ready, and they'll talk 5 minutes before the match. I was new. I need to be talking all day. Like, what again? How we gonna do it? So when I went there, I forgot who. I think the booker was Ernest Anderson. I looked at the board, and I was like, man, what are they gonna do to us? And Ernest Anderson said, oh no, you guys are going over. I said, how in the hell we gonna look like we can beat those guys? Or he started laughing. He said, we'll put it together in a little bit. We'll come out and put it together. So we went over the match. We got the match together, and we talked to Ming and Barb, and they didn't say too many words. The only thing they said was like, yes, 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 yes. They weren't calling no spot. They just said yes to everything the booker said. He said, so then the cat will get 1, 2, 3 on you, Ming. He's like, yes. That's all he was saying. Man, then they got up, walked away. No, listen, no smile, no frown, just straight look. That scared the hell out of me right there. When the guy smiled, oh man, I'm looking the whole time we going over. We sitting on one side of the table, they sitting on the other side, and Arn Anderson standing right in the middle, going over the match. I could not take my eyes off of them because I wanted to see something. As a professional fighter, when you walk out to the middle of the ring, right before the bell gets the ring, you can look a man in his eyes and you can tell what his heart is thinking. That's what I thought. If he blink his eyes, this guy right here is scared of me. All I got to do is pressure him. If he's looking around, trying to look through me, I said, he's trying to hide his fear. All I got to do is just put my hands and feet upside his head, and that'll break all that apart. But now here I am with two guys, wrestlers, pro wrestler, not pro fighters, pro wrestlers. These guys looking at me and making no expression, just keep saying, yes, yes. I was getting a little mad because I wanted to see something out of them. But then when they got up, they both were 6'6", 350 pounds. That was enough right there. I just need to get my little 230 pound ass out the way. So,
how was the night after this match? How was the morning after this match? How'd you feel?
Man, listen, the match, let me tell you something. That's what I'm about to tell you. When we got in the ring with these guys, man, these guys were so professional. man. But let me tell you, for the lead up, so we got ready to get in the ring, and you know sometimes you grease yourself up or oil yourself up with any kind of lotion or oils that make you glitter, make you look like you got more muscles. So all the wrestlers did this just so the light will reflect on the muscles and you look good on TV. So we get ready to go out and ring, and I looked at my body and I was dry, man, ashy. I don't know if you ever seen a black man with a little ash on it, man, like a cloud on my arm. So I was ashy, my knees were ashy. So I turned to this guy, say, man, you got any kind of oil? He said, yeah. I said, here, put me some in my hand. So he put some in my hand, and Glacier said, let me have some too. So we started rubbing it on. Then a few minutes later, I started to smell like strawberries and peaches. I said, what the hell is this, man? He said, that's some fruit lotion. I said, Glacier, man, we already going out there with me and Bob. They're going to eat us alive, man. They're going to eat this. They're going to eat us alive. Right? We smell like dessert to them. we smell like dessert to them. Glacier laughed, said, man, it'll be okay. But let me tell you this. The match went so well. Me and Barb, very professional, man. That's why they've been in the business so long. And let me tell you something. They barely touched me. They looked like they were ripping my head off. I looked like I was ripping them off. I did a move that they still show on the internet. Now, while I kicked Ming out of the ring. Now, Barb out of the ring, and Ming hit in the corner. I turnbuckle Ming in the corner. He hit the corner. I remember Arn Anderson called the spot. He said, we need you outside the ring, and Barb, and Ming, we need you in the ring with Glacier. So they said, well, at that time, when they looked over the time, they said, that's the time you'll be in the ring, Cat. So he said, we got to do something to get you out the ring. Then I said, okay, all right, I got it. So they said, what? I said, I'm going to turnbuckle Ming. And when he hit there, I'm going to kick Barb. He going to roll out outside the ring. I'm going to grab Barb. And I'm going to turnbuckle Barb. And then I'm going to go and do a flying side kick into the corner on Ming. And when I hit Ming's chest, I'm going to brace myself. Then I'm going to jump off Ming's chest to Barb outside down on the floor. They said, you can do that? I said, yeah, if they stay there and they plant me, give me a base. So the play went out, boom. We threw Barb. He went outside. I slammed Ming into the corner turnbuckle. Now here I go. I back up. I run. I jump, hit Ming in the chest. He gave me that big old chest, and I just jumped over the top rope, down below, and to Barbarian outside. So me and Barb outside, Ming in that cellar. And they still show that on, I see now on a lot of wrestling sites now.
I'm going to go and I'm going to watch it immediately right when we get done with this, because I haven't seen it yet. And that sounds amazing. And I know you could do it because I remember your athleticism. It was absolutely incredible to watch you. And you know what? When it came to all the wrestlers that have done karate in the ring, nobody did it like you, man. It was believable.
Nobody did it. That's right. Nobody did it like me. Now it was a lot of other guys who put on a black belt. We had a guy named, I don't know if you remember this guy, Jerry Flynn.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
Oh my goodness, man, come on. Jerry Flynn was a very talented wrestler, man, back in 97, 90, 98, 99. He would go to Japan and fight the real fights, what they call shoot fights over there. Then he'll come in. He had a great match with Goldberg. Matter of fact, he was one of the ones who put on a great match with Goldberg. It wasn't too many guys that could work with Goldberg like he did, but him and Goldberg had a hell of a match. So he was a karate guy. And Booker T, of course, used to always mess with me. Me and Booker just used to go at it all the time. Booker liked to joke around, and soon I go in the locker room, he'll start at me, and him and I go at it all the time. He the one woke me up in the locker room, because I was kind of quiet until Booker started picking on me and always talking. Jerry Flynn will walk in and he'll like, hey, Cat, here come a real karate man. Oh, Jerry Flynn will kick you all over your plays, man. And we never had a match against each other, Jerry Flynn. He was like, man, Jerry Flynn will kick you around, Cat. this is a real karate man. He's loved to mess with me, about now, like just because he got on the black belt don't mean but Jerry wouldn't say anything. Jerry was just, he would just smile when Booker T said that, in a proud kind of way.
Yeah.
So on a Monday night here in Atlanta, Eric Bischoff set a match. It was me and Jerry Flynn was supposed to go at some kind of karate match in there. And Booker T was like, uh-oh, boy, we gonna Cat, you gonna get exposed, man, to be this old fake karate instructor. All these kids. So Booker T met me. So then right before Eric was booking the match, so we walk in and Jerry Flynn was not a little guy. He was about 6. I'm 6'2". Jerry Flynn about 6'5", 230 pounds, nice muscle cut up. So we walk into Eric Bischoff's office and Eric going over the match. And, I was kind of quiet because I let the other guys leave because they've been there a lot longer than I have. So I remember we walked in, Eric said, well, I want a match go back and forth, just have fun out there, do a lot of karate stuff because Eric was still kind of working on that mixed martial arts stuff. That was before the UFC, but Eric still had something in mind. So he wanted to show in the middle of a wrestling match and show, he wanted to show martial arts too. So this guy came out, and I remember we sitting at Eric office, I'm sitting down. He said, so who you want to go? He said, let Cat go over. And then he said, you want me to get some heat on him? And this Jared talking like I'm not even there. He said, yeah. Then he said, how bad do you want me to beat him? And I kind of almost threw up in my mouth when he said, how bad do you want me to beat him here? Then Eric said, y'all just get it together. And then when I walked out, when we got to walk out, Eric winked at me. So when he winked at me, it's like it didn't mean anything, but like just go have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we went in the ring and we started calling the shots. And I said, listen, we are calling in the ring. Whenever I said go down, So Booker T, he was all happy. Harlem Heat, they sitting right there at the monitor in the back. Said, oh, here we go. That was Booker T said, here we go. We about to see Cat get the snot beat out of him. So we went to the ring. So we got in the ring. So I said, let's just spar. Now, when I said go down, go down. So I let Jerry hit me. Then when I knew I wanted to do a big move, I said, go down. He was like, what? I'll do a spinning back flip. Bang. Hit it right on the chin. He'll go down. He'll get up again. Then I said, okay, put your hands up. And then I do a kick, pow, pow, pow. I was just hitting him with all kinds of kicks. Then at the end, I hit him with something to knock him down. But then Eric wanted him to be standing at the end. So I didn't want to hit him with anything big, but I had to come up with something real fast in the middle of this match. So I did what we call a cockwheel kick in pro wrestling. It's like when you fake like you about to hit him with your hand, then you go and do a cockwheel, like a handstand, and you bring your feet over and hit him. So I hit him with one of those. He went down. I got the 1, 2, 3. Then he got up and grabbed me and put the heat on me. Then as soon as we get to the back, the first person meet us at the door is Booker T. and Booker T looked, they were like, well, hey, Jerry, you look like he said, you look like a unranked amateur, and Cat, you look like you was the ranked star of the whole karate world. He was like, man, that was good, man. He said, Cat, I did not know you could do that. He said he switched just like that. He was like, man, you look like an unranked amateur. That's what he said to Jerry. He said, you number one in the world. Huh?
All these stories, they coincide together. Last week we had Tony Norris, Ahmed Johnson on the show, and he was talking about how Booker T and Stevie Ray all got into the industry together in Houston. So and now we're talking about how Booker T is giving you shit here for this match, and then all of a sudden he gives you respect, but he was motivating the hell out of you to go out there and give you the best match ever, is what it sounded like to me.
In the locker room, Booker T was the best. Me and Booker T, we're really close now because of the time we spent together on the road, and Booker T was just one. Him and Steve and I hung out a lot. I was there when our man came there too, and I heard some stories how they all used to be bouncers at clubs, man, and it was so funny. I used to listen to those stories. But Booker T, I knew Booker T was gonna do exactly what he's doing now. I knew he was gonna spend his whole life in pro wrestling because he loved it. That means he loved it, man. He gave everything to being never listen, he never complained about winning or losing. I've seen guys back there have one of the top matches and they would sit and pout because they was not winning, you know. And I was like, Booker T said, listen, Cat, I don't care if you're going to win or lose. As long as you're on TV, you can get over. And that was his thinking. So he was an easy person to work with. I never saw him having a problem with anybody in WCW. You know,
I love Booker T. As far as wrestlers go, and we talked about it last week. I have Booker T's figure from Harlem Heat, and I have Stevie Ray's figure from Harlem Heat. They're in the pick fed thing that we've been talking about. But that's one of my all-time favorite tag teams, man. You cannot.
Let me tell you a story about them. Glacier and I again. We had one against Vicious, Sid Vicious, Sting. We the one with different tag teams. But man, it was nothing like the day we had a match with Harlem Heat. And I mean, we went to the ring first. Glacier and I, they introduced something. We got a big pop because like on a Thunder Thursday night show, we got a huge pop. So next thing you know, soon you hear that boom, 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 boom. Dun, 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 dun. Man, let me tell you, I've never heard the crowd get so loud, man. I was like, I mean, I couldn't even hear myself thinking that place, man. The crowd went crazy when because you know how it started.
Yeah, it's such an anomaly. Like the song, yeah, man. The song, it's so like hyped up when you're sitting there listening to it.
I told Glacier, I said, Glacier, I've never heard a pop like that with nobody, man. No other individual wrestler, no other tag team wrestler. I've never heard the crowd respond to the way they respond to Harlem Heat and Harlem Heat music, man. That was, I don't know why they don't get the respect that they should get.
I mean, in my opinion, they are the greatest tag team of all time.
Was, man, and they used to have good matches with anybody.
Everybody. So it was the golden age of WCW for tag team wrestling in general, guys. It was literally the best time ever for tag team wrestling. And you know, Booker T and Stevie Ray could take on the Nasty Boys. They could take on the Outsiders. They could take on everybody. I mean, Sting and Luger. I mean, they could carry a show. No problem.
So we went over the match, and they gave me a good little heat spot where I was gonna come kick. I was gonna kick their ass all over the ring. They said, "Okay, we're gonna make you look good, Cat." So that spot came. They threw me in. Booker T and both were in the ring. I jumped up, did a split kick. Then I turned around, did another split kick. Then I did another kick, and I was supposed to do one more kick before Stevie hit me in the back of my head. Then Stevie hit me in the back of my head and took over. Then after the match was over, Stevie came up to me and said, "Hey, Cat, we had to shut you down, man. You were getting too hype on us in there. He said, you were looking too good in there, man." He said, "After you threw those first 5 kicks," I said, "Man, we got to shut this kid down, man. He trying to take over the match."
So did you ever take an axe kick from Booker T?
Yeah.
You did?
Man, Booker
What's
T.
that like, man? What is that like?
I'm going to tell you what this is like. This is the idea of Booker back in those days. So we had like a hardcore match. It was supposed to be a hardcore match. And I was supposed to go out and do something to Booker T. And I think I beat Booker T with this right here. It's like out there somewhere. So anyway, I was supposed to get the win on Booker T. And I don't know if you ever saw the bamboo stick that they have.
The kendo sticks?
Yeah, the kendo stick, yeah. I hated those things because there's no way you can fake it. And they hurt like hell, right?
Yeah.
So we going over the match, and we getting Booker T said, "Yeah, he can do that. He can do that." He said, "Yeah, let the cat do this. Cat do that." Then he said, "The last weapon in there is the kendo stick." And Booker T said, "Oh yeah, he got the kendo stick. He picked it up." And he looking up in the sky, telling, Oh yeah, this is where I'm gonna open that can of whip ass. Now I said, Book, hit me 2 times with that damn thing. Just 2 times. No more than 2 times. I kept telling him, he was like, then we go over again, go to the match again. Then he come to the Kindle stick part. He said, oh yeah, he'll look up like he was Macho Man. He was like holding the Kindle stick up. Oh yeah, that's when I'm gonna light into your ass. I said, Booker T, please, only just hit me 2 times, Booker T. He said, he never said yes or no, but he'll shake his head like, okay, I got it. So the match came, boom, I kicked the chair, boom, I hit him with the chair, and then he did something to me. He got the Kindle stick part, and I'm looking at him. He made that same face right before he hit me about 20 times with that damn stick. He whooped my ass with that stick. Pow, pow, pow. He hit me about 20 times. I was so mad, man. I said, man, I told you just 2 times. I said, I told you 2 times, man. That kid hit me about, he went crazy with that stick. He went pow, 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 pow. Oh, man, I was just screaming, huh?
That is, dude, that's absolutely
man, so
hilarious.
I was so mad at it, but I saw it in his eye when it came time. The same look he gave me in the locker room going over the match with the Kindle stick is the same look he had in his eye when he looked at me and cocked that Kindle stick. And he went about 20 times before I could even move. Pow, 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 pow. Man, I had blisters all on my back and legs, man.
What'd you think of the WCW's hardcore division?
Man, you know what? It could have been, everything was fun. Everything was fun. It was a lot of energy there, man. You know, you know, I didn't like it. I didn't know. See, think about it. I've never wrestled before. How in the hell I'm gonna be in a hardcore match? You know, so they put me in kind of like a hardcore match against now I forgot his name, older wrestler around, man. He was crazy about this shit. What's the guy's name, man? He's still around. He's about 8 or something. He was
Terry Funk.
Yeah.
They put you in a match with Terry Funk in a hardcore match?
Terry Funk wanted to do a hardcore match, and I told this dude, he wanted me to take him out to the car outside, put him, body slam him on top of the windshield. He wanted me to do all this crap to him. And I was like, man, he trusts me like that? He wanted to hit it with every garbage can in the house, every chair in the house. And I just told him to hit me with the things he could control. You know, the little garbage can top, you know, that was easy. You know, maybe a baseball bat that really wasn't a baseball bat, hit me with that. And then I said, what I'm going to do, I do this little thing, Jerry. I said, I do this little thing where I turn around to the camera, I hold my 3 fingers up, telling everybody I'm the 3-time world champion. Let me get that in, and then I'll turn around, then we can go to something else. He said, okay, all right. We get in the ring, we go to that part. I hit him with something, boom, knock him down. He was an old man then. I knocked him down. He was flat on his back. I turned and looked at the camera, put my 3 fingers up like this at the camera, and out of nowhere, it sounded like thunder and lightning hit me in the back of the head. He'd have hit me across the head with that damn trap. Man, I was so mad, man. I was like, man, I'm going to kill this old man when I turn around. I'm going to kill him. He hit me again with the front, back, front. And then when it was over, we came back to the back, and everybody was like, man, that was a good, entertaining match, man. It was fun.
I mean, man, how awesome is it that you got to face the hardcore legend, man?
Oh, man.
And was that your first hardcore match?
And that was my very first one, my only one. I declined to go. I started looking to be, after that, I started looking to be the damn the manager or the commissioner, because, you know, a lot, you know, it's kind of funny. I was at a point when I was wrestling, I was at a point to where I was just ready to really take it to that next level. I thought I was, the crowd, the numbers, the rating during my time, everybody, they was showing that I was ready to go to that next level. But it was just unfortunate that a lot of the upper echelon wrestlers, the upper class of it, they were so into their own world, they didn't want to help a new guy. You know, they asked Lex Luger to come and take my red shoes from me because I was doing the red shoe. They said, just go down to the ring and take his red shoe. I remember the Booker asking that. He was like, no, I don't want to get into that match. because he knew if I came down, it's a possibility that he'd have to work me. It was just a strange kind of business, man, because the top tier guys did not want to work and bring the younger guys up. You know, they hated Goldberg. The whole time Goldberg was there, they hated Goldberg. When they had to do the job for Goldberg, it was a lot of upset stars around now. You know, because Goldberg went through the bottom list. Now he was into the top list, and then nobody want to work with him because I don't know if they were looking out for themselves or just.
I mean, he paid his dues. The numbers speak for themselves, man. I mean, think about how many matches he wrestled in that short period of time. TV, not TV, you know, I mean, it's crazy to think about, honestly, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're sitting here talking about, I mean, you know, how you're not getting put over by these guys. I mean, you seriously could have been world champion immediately.
Let me tell you this, and it's somewhat documented. My rating numbers for the hour was up so high, and everybody knew I was over, but I wasn't supposed to be over because I was so new to the business. And I was a karate guy. I wasn't a wrestler. I was a karate guy. But for some reason, the crowd used to love to hate me, and then they would love me all over again. Till Hogan stopped me and said, hey, man, I went to the top guys, man, and I put it out there. I would love to lose the belt to you, like on the Monday night, then chase you to get it back. And I was like, oh, thank you, sir. And he was like, yeah. He said, man, because you over. This is all it's going to take. So I want to lose the belt. This Hogan talking to me. Then Nathan, no, he came back. He said the office told them not to do it because that was in the middle. I think they were getting ready to try to sell WCW to Eric Bischoff or somebody like that. And they kind of explained it to me. We don't want you to get the belt on the Monday, then lose it on the Thursday. Once you get it, we want you to have it and run with it for a while. So the storyline that Hogan brought to us was he wanted to lose it to you and get it back on Monday and get it back on Thursday. I didn't give a damn if he lost it to me and got it back an hour later. You know, I deserved that, but you know, it made me feel good to know that this guy thought enough of me to even suggest that to the booking committee, you know, and all it took just that, man, you know, then by the time Vince Russo and those guys came in, you know, they were rewriting everything.
So then that storyline never goes through. I mean, did you ever bring it up to Russo?
No, Russo wasn't there then. It was Eric. We did not have. I think it was this guy named Bush who had took Eric Bischoff place at that time. He was running the company. He was like the transition between Eric right before Vince Russo came. When Vince Russo came, Vince Russo just became head writer. He brought in his crew, and they went right to work, you know, changing and writing stories and stuff like that. And he actually was the one to write me into being the commissioner. And he said, this how we'll do this, cat. Because he heard that story too. He said, this how we'll do it. He said, you need to work with the higher end. And the higher guys, they call them the millionaires. They did not, because these was guys making $1 million a week. You know, these guys were making $150,000 just to come to work. Every time they came to work, that's what they got. So Vince Russo said, we're going to make these guys work with you by you being the commissioner. If you're the commissioner, that way they can't complain. They got to work. So you got to work with them. So that's when he put that commissioner job on me to where I got to work with everybody. And that got over pretty good for me. It led me all the way to the ring with James Brown.
Yeah. And, you know, your character, when it had such James Brown vibes to it, can you tell us how you implemented that into your character?
Man, you know what? It's just something I used to do when I was young. I kind of grew up 70s, you know, and into the 80s. But two of my heroes was Muhammad Ali and James Brown. For some reason, I just used to like when James Brown would come on TV, I would run down there. I could be in the bed with my drawers on. In bed at 4 or 5 years old with my drawers on. Soon James Brown come on TV. I hear my mom say, baby, James Brown is on TV. I'll jump out of bed, go in the closet and put my nice Sunday shoes on with my drawers, and I'll go down there. Every move James Brown made on TV, I made it right there in front of my parents. And they would just laugh and cheer and love me doing that. So it's just always been a part of my soul and who I am. And the Muhammad Ali thing is it is what it is. You know, a lot of people were a fan of Muhammad Ali.
Absolutely.
I just love what Ali stood for. I loved how he loved people, and I most definitely loved the way he loved himself. That's where I got my effort from. You know, it's so easy to love others.
And he had the skills too, man.
Huh?
And he had the skills too.
The skills were crazy, man. And like, you know, I spoke to you about emotional fighters and fighters that are not emotional. He was a fighter for, like, if you let him go, he's gonna go. If Muhammad Ali gonna show off on you, he putting on a show. It wasn't a boxing match, it was a boxing show that he put on whenever he fought.
He was definitely the all-time greatest for sure. Can I ask you a question?
Nope.
Have you ever had the Varsity in Atlanta?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing there?
The bathroom after I ate those sloppy dogs. That's the worst damn food you ever want to eat. That. Oh man, those French fries, you might as well just drink the French fries. You ask for a cup of tea, man, I'm telling you, they're giving you a cup of diabetes. And that sugar so thick in the ice cream, in the tea, you know, but it's in Atlanta. It's in a historical place, man. So I used to go there just to sit out in the car and watch people eat and stuff like that. So I've been there before.
That's one of my all-time favorite places to go when I'm in Atlanta, man. I am originally from Alabama, so Milo's Cheeseburgers. If you ever get a chance to go to Alabama, man, Milo's Cheeseburgers.
I go to Alabama. What part?
It's all in the north, so I don't. It's you can't go past the central line and south, but they have them all in the north. But they refuse to branch out anywhere else. But I know you've heard of like Milo's sweet tea, like at the store. Yeah. Like that's them. That is actually them. You got to try the cheeseburgers, double cheeseburger.
I go to Alabama at least once a month. The style of martial arts that I'm taking now, I'm taking a new style. It's called Oyama. It's created in Japan, and the headquarters in Birmingham, Alabama, with a 87. My Shihan is 87 years old. Psycho Shihan is 87 years old. He created this style. So I go down there to get tested.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, guess what? They have one in Birmingham.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm going to have to check that out.
Please do. So just hear me out. You've got to get tons of the sauce, the brown sauce, the regular Milo sauce on your French fries. Get that orange stuff they put on the French fries. Get all that stuff too. And then, man, I'm telling you right now, just get the big cheeseburger with all the sauce, man. Don't get the onions or the pickles, just the sauce. I'm telling you. It's the best cheeseburger you ever have in your life.
You know,
your whole life.
I don't eat a lot of French fries, but every now and then I find a place with some good French fries.
This is the only place you should eat them from with this sauce. I'm telling you right now. If you don't trust me on this, you'll hate me for the rest of my life because this Milo's is so good.
I'm going to hate you for the rest of my life anyway because you got to do it from my phone and you talk too much. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit because I know we don't have you for too much longer on here.
Oh, you damn right you don't. Go eat.
Yeah, we all need to go eat. Let's talk about your acting career because I got to tell you, when I saw you in The Wrestler, that was like my all-time favorite moment was to see you because I was like, dude, that's the cat. You know what I mean? I was so excited.
Man, you know, I've been in a few good movies, man.
You have. You've been in about 4 or 5 amazing ones.
Yeah, I did not know they were going to turn out like that. I didn't know I was going to still be receiving nice checks from a movie I did, The Wrestler. You know, people used to always talk about what you want to do. You want to be in a Oscar-nominated movie. And I was like, I thought you just wanted to be in a good movie. But when you're in a movie that's nominated for an Oscar, and you one of the top 8 in a star write-up or address, you make a lot of money for a long time, for as long as that movie runs. So that movie right there was a really good movie, man. I made good friend with Darren Aronofsky, the director, and me, Mickey, and I talk all the time. I'll be doing another movie with Mickey here in Atlanta in the beginning of the year. So, I did that movie, and I did a movie called Blood and Bones that was with Michael Jai White, one of the premier martial artists around, man. Joe Rogan said he one of the best non-UFC fighters he ever seen. This
And
guy.
he was fun. All the comic fans out there.
Yeah,
He
him
was
and I,
fun.
him and I got our black belt from the same instructor. So,
Oh, wow.
a lot. And I did this movie where I played Mama Dearest in Blood and Bones. I also did The Legend of Bruce Lee with him. And so I got some good movies out there, man. Even a TV project that I've been on too, that they kind of kicking back up. I hear it's going to NBC. Don't quote me, but the MacGyver TV show. I got a character on there that I played, Lieutenant Walker, a military guy on the MacGyver show. So I was supposed to be on that 8th episode, but during the pandemic kind of shut down and CBS didn't renew it. And NBC is picking up with the same character. So, I'm still doing a little work on TV, man. Every now and then I like to get out and do what the hell I want to do. People say, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I want to be able to do whatever the hell I want to do and make money. And I've been successful at that.
Absolutely. And that's the goal in life right there. You don't have to be stuck to one thing. You can do whatever you want to do at any time you want to do it. And if you're
and be afraid. The key is that don't be afraid. Do it. Don't care what people think. Don't care about, failing. Don't care about not making it. Do it. Just do it. You never know what your hidden talents may be. God gave everybody a hidden talent. All you got to do is to go out and find your purpose and use that talent. But if you're afraid, there's nothing you can do but sit on it. Oh, I don't want to take that chance. I may look bad. I don't give a damn what I look like in front of anybody. So I'm going to try everything.
Absolutely. You only got one life.
No.
Might as well take a chance.
I got 9.
I mean, you, on the other hand, have 9 lives, sir.
Yes.
All right, man. Well, I mean, we could totally do this again anytime you want to. We could bring you on again.
I did this as a favor to you because you were patient. I do not like doing this thing. But you know what I'm thinking about doing? I'm thinking about starting my own podcast because I got so many stories, so many good friends.
So that's what I was going to say to you is you're so good at this. Like we've only gotten one story really out of you. I know how many you have. Man, you're entertaining. You've carried the entire show.
But I mean, let me tell you this right fast before you go. And this is what people don't understand. I can tell all the stories. You want me to tell you why? Because I was like a visitor in a business that were made for those who've been around for a long time. I didn't grow up wanting to be a pro wrestler. I wanted to be a karate guy. So my whole life I was a karate guy. And they think, they opened the door and let me in. And now I'm in this big room with all these superstars that I'm not supposed to even be in here, but I'm here. So I seen stuff that they can't talk about because they was there. They were part of the story. I was on the outside just looking in and can't believe I'm here. So some of the stories I have, man, is just some great stories, and that's not to make anybody look bad. But if I want to tell the whole truth, sometimes people going to look bad. So what I want to do is just, start my podcast and just tell a good story, bring on good guests and especially some of my karate kids. So I got some of the best kids in the world.
So then you need to do this. You need to do it stat. You need to do it immediately. What's your plan for this? When are you going to start it? You should start it tomorrow. Seriously. It's so good.
I want to have it set right. I won't do it in January. In January, I'm going to Japan to do this thing with the great Muda, who is retiring from wrestling in Japan to Tokyo.
So amazing. So amazing. Such a legend.
So I'm part of that. So I'm gonna fly over to Japan and get some stories and try to start a fight with every Japanese person. You know, yeah, they really short, small. Some of my friends, like Sonny Ono, I think I can beat about 25 of those guys together. You know, so I'm going over there to start. So I told Sonny, I said, Sonny, come on, I'm coming over. He said, you're gonna probably be the biggest guy over there. I was like, I hope so. I'm gonna be a bully over there and start some fights. And I'm gonna get to see Yuji Nagata, who is one of my best Japanese, one of my best friends. He won the Japanese Supreme Wrestlers. He's been wrestling a long time. Matter of fact, him and I worked together on many shows when he was here in WCW.
So you've literally done it all, and you've been in some legendary matches. You've been into some legendary places. What is your favorite moment? And we'll end on this. What is your all-time favorite moment in wrestling?
You know, I don't even have to talk about it, but I'm gonna bring it up again, bro. It's working with James Brown. I could not believe James Brown was in this business in San Francisco at the Cow Palace just for me, just to work with me, man. I got to go out there and sit with him, man. To me, it's just like a king. I'm sitting talking to James Brown. And matter of fact, this is how good James Brown was. After he put the cape on me and I walked on, we walked to the back and he shook my hand. So I had a great time, man. Thanks for inviting me. And the capes were sitting on the chair that he brought for me. He turned me, he said, hey, don't leave those laying around. And I said, what? He said, oh, 2 capes. So I told the guy who was with me to take them and put them in my locker room. So he got the capes. I still got the capes now. And now to find out that those capes are worth $100,000 a piece or even more because they were made by his cape maker and they came from James Brown and it's notated on YouTube, on the internet. Wow. Well, it used to be on YouTube. WWE took all my stuff off and put it on their network. So, but that still got the cake, man. And it was just a proud moment, man, a moment that, you know, it was just my whole family really enjoyed. People still, I get college people now. My college roommate called me today and he was talking about, he said, came up on TikTok. He said, I didn't know it was you at first. I kept looking. I said, that's not like my roommate. And I said, yeah, that was me and James Brown. See, in this community, especially the Black community, man, they don't, I mean, James Brown is still James Brown, no matter what.
Right. And here's the thing is you were talking about as a kid, it's your lifelong hero, pretty much. And you were in the ring with him and he was there just for you. I mean, that's got to feel like the best feeling in the entire world. And it's got to feel like, man, I finally did it. I finally, like, I just like, I'm at the top of my life right now. Is that what it felt like?
But you know, really what wrestling bring me, man, is bring me a pride and joy now. When I was in it, when I was doing it, I didn't expect to feel the way I feel about it now because everybody seemed like, you know, when you're in the middle of something, you can't feel what's around you. You just see it. And sometimes you think it's giving you one vibe and they're giving you something else. Like, I thought I was working with a lot of, like, arrogant guys, you know, Lex Luger, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold, you know. I thought I was working with a bunch of guys that were really stuck on themselves. But now to see these cats, man, when they see me, let me tell you, they give me the utmost respect. Ric Flair saw me, he was in the crowd, and then he about to take a picture. Then he looked over and saw me, and we made eye contact. He said, y'all, hold up, let me go say hello to the cat. The Rock came to Atlanta, and he was at a gym, and I just happened to be at the same gym, and the guys came and whispered to me, hey, The Rock is over there on the machine. He got a bodyguard with him. And then when I said, hold up, let's go out and introduce you. I went over there, and soon The Rock saw me. He jumped off the machine, gave me a hug, and said, Cat, man, I've always been a big fan of yours, you know. And I worked with Rock a little bit in WWE, you know, when I was there. Now, that's another story. That WWE was 3 years of, like, me just really being put in my place, you know, because, man, that was a different monster, right? That was totally different from WCW. Vince McMahon and all the stuff that you heard is going on. I was there. I was there when people were talking about how people were messing around with the ring crew, Some guy was sleeping with the ring boys. I was there. I was listening to those stories. I was there, man, when things happen, and it was a good place, man, but it wasn't that's when I learned then that I did not want to be in WWE, because it kind of sucked away my energy.
Right.
It kind of sucked away your energy. It's like you go from a place to where you got a bunch of brothers and people there to support you and help you and guide you and make sure you're successful, look out for you. Then you go to a place to where everything is scattered, to where everybody's looking for something to get ahead, not looking for something to make you better, but looking for something to get ahead. Everybody wants, if you make a mistake and say something, they go back and tell the head writer, hey, he messed up on this. We don't need to. So, I had that kind of vision. So it really sucked me. It sucked the life out of me. It almost made me lose. I got like anxiety. It's like,
right.
It's like, in WCW.
Did it mess with your confidence at all?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I was in WCW, I was new, man. Let me tell you something. I was so new to the business and I was kind of quiet. When I grew up, I was kind of quiet. I didn't talk much. I had a little squeaky voice. I wouldn't talk much at all. Karate helped bring that out of me. But it was kind of funny when I would go and do something in the ring. I didn't care about the people. I cared more about, I had the support of the locker room. Like they'll tell, hey, Cat, next time you go out there, Scott Hall, hey, Cat, you sound real cool. Slow it down when you get out there and say this cool stuff like this. They was always looking to help us. So, it's like, even if the crowd wasn't responding or reacting to what you were saying, the locker room is cheering for you to go. So that was a good payoff right there. It's for me to go out and just put myself out there in front of people. I'd never been in that position before. It was good. But once you got the WWE, man, it's like the fans love Ernest the Cat Miller because they remember me from WC. Man, I got more cheers than Cena got when he was doing his rap. Cena, we had a dark match where Cena was supposed to come out and go back to back and we were going to face somebody. I guess they were trying to look at the thing. Cena came out and said, rap, did a little thing, and the crowd didn't pop at all. Then I reached for the mic. And when I reached for the mic to get it out of Cena's hand, guess what the crowd did? They started cheering. Yeah, they wanted me to talk. They wanted me to say something. And then that's when the center judge came over to me and they said, hey, the back said, give the mic back to Cena. So I knew then they're not going to let me do what I'm good at and what I need to do. It just kind of broke you down a little bit because you felt like no matter what you did in this ring, the back wasn't going to be with you, But I had one guy back there. Vince McMahon was very nice to me, always nice to me. But Vince is the kind of guy, he don't have to do his dirty work. All you do is smile. Hey, man, I like you. I can see you doing 10 years in here. And next thing you know, one of the old guys tap on your door and say, hey, dog, you fired. That's just the business. Now, Triple H was great, man. Triple H was, hey, Cat, don't be nervous, man. You already a superstar. You got the job. Don't worry about that. He was like the WCW guy because I think most of the WCW guys had worked with him before they came to WCW,
Right.
So, all right.
So was he even in control back then? They feel like he was in control? Triple H?
Yeah, well, yeah, because him and Stephanie were dating. They were dating back then. I can't remember if they were married, which I think they were, but they were dating back then. So he had to say so in what was going on. Shane McMahon used to be around a little bit, but it's everybody else. Everybody like it was a plant. Everybody put there for a reason. Tell on somebody to, you heard about some fights back in the locker room, and that's what happened. You never saw that really in the WCW locker room, guys fighting each other. Now on the trip when we was out of town, people get to drinking and that, but not in the locker room over a match. I saw a whole bunch of fights. One of my favorite fights was when two of my best friends got in a fight, Jericho and Goldberg. And I came down, I heard they were fighting, so I ran down there to watch. I wanted to see Goldberg destroy this guy. But by the time I got there, I said, so what happened? He said, they broke it up. And I said, so who won? Nobody said anything, but they said Kevin Nash was the only one in there. So I looked at Kevin, I said, Kevin, who won? And Kevin looked at me, he was like, well, I ain't gonna say nothing, but Jericho got Goldberg in the headlock and he couldn't get out.
What?
I said, that's all. He said, yeah. He said, I ain't gonna say nothing now. I'm just saying Jericho did get a headlock on Goldberg and Goldberg couldn't get away from it. Hey man, that was so funny. That was so funny, man. I got some good Goldberg story. Cause Goldberg, we traveled on the road together, man. Goldberg is a real funny guy, real funny, mean guy, but he's funny, man. He got some great story. Great guy too. And
you need to start that podcast. You have to.
Bro, I am. I'm gonna get after that, man, and gonna get it going, and soon I'll let you know, cause I might need something to help see where you going and get some.
Sure. I make comic books too. We should make the Ernest the Cat Miller comic book, man. Just let me know.
Bro, listen, you know what? I've been asked, because of where I grew up, I've been asked by 3 people to say, hey, let me help you do a book. And I just don't feel my stories are ready yet, to be, concluded or even to start something. Because I think I still got a lot of life ahead. A lot of things.
One more match.
Oh man, I love to do one more match. If I had one more match, it would be against my friend Goldberg.
Who wins?
Match.
Who wins?
He said something about that too. It would be against Goldberg because we had a fun, good, fun and nice, entertaining match. By the time Goldberg and I met, he had came down a little bit. He had lost that, that pop he was getting. So when Goldberg, and I had a lot of heat. I was just talking, and I'm the one did the thing to where they'll come to the ring, and I said, I'm going to turn my back. I'm going to count to 3. If I turn back around, you still here, I'm going to eat you alive. I'm going to call my mom. So I just do all the that, and I get the 2, and I kick him in the throat or something. But Goldberg came out. As soon as he came to the ring, people couldn't believe it. I said, okay, I'm going to turn my back here. If I turn back around, you still here, I'm going to eat you alive, Goldberg. I went 1, 2, then I kicked him in the throat. But it didn't hurt him. I threw him into the rope, hit him in the back, then threw him off, but he speared me and Sonny. And I've never seen two mass of body just laying down in a pile because he speared through Sonny and speared me. And the crowd popped like crazy. But that was my job. He gave me a hug and said, thank you, Cap. I ain't had a pop like that in a while.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
And hey, so are you considering ever managing an All Elite?
They asked me to a couple of times. I can't say I've been asked to, but it's a lot of guys that I've trained here. I train sometimes with guys here in Atlanta. And they asked me to do they wanted me to wrestle and do some stuff with them in the ring. But you know what, man, that business, I tell everybody, that business like a girl, you can love all you want to, but she ain't going to love you like you love her. So, this business is not going to love you back. You can love it and deal with it all you want to, but you're not going to get any love from it.
Well, Ernest, tell everybody out there where they can find you, brother. And we're going to go ahead and end with this. Don't forget Milo's Cheeseburgers next time you go back to Birmingham, Alabama, man.
Man, listen, of course, I'm on Instagram, Ernest the Cat Miller. I'm on Facebook, all the social media. But just follow me on there, and I'll follow you back. And get ready for my podcast. I'll be doing another movie here in February, starting in February. And Glacier and I have a pretty good movie. Got some good. It's a wrestling movie. It's a good sci-fi movie. It's where 4 wrestlers, me, Ming, Tonga, and Glacier, and Luther Biggs. So we are the 4 stars in there,
I
and
want to see that right now.
when
Right now.
when it come out, man, it's gonna be really great. The movie is shot, and right now they're just doing some editing, so it's gonna be pretty fun, man. It's about us going on the road one more time, led by Glacier Ray Lord, going on the road one more time to put on a show. And once we get into this city, the city is gonna get attacked by Martians. And I get to kick them in the head, kick the head off the shoulder. I get to shoot through it. It's one of those movies, and it's fun. So look forward to that, man. I'll let you guys know when they're coming out.
Well, all right, man. I appreciate this so much. You have no idea. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. Gives me something to watch for the rest of my life. And a lot of people out there, they got to hear the right questions today. We could have probably gone another 4 hours because of how much content you have, man. And that's why everybody needs to follow Ernest Miller right now. That way you can get on for his podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So,
yeah, sure. All right, brother. Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too, buddy. All right, guys. That was Ernest the Cat Miller. That was episode 61 or 62 of the Mayhem Show, one of the two. Been a crazy night, man. Awesome to be able to talk to Ernest the Cat Miller and just insane stories. And we could have went all night. You guys know that we could have just kept going with Ernest. He's so intelligent when it comes to wrestling and fighting. And you guys heard him for the motivational stuff and just being around the business. It's just great to hear all his stories. I need to hear more because he's actually entertaining. He knows how to tell a story as he talks, guys. So without any further ado, we're going to get out of here. You guys have a great night. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you've enjoyed all the shows for Silent Mayhem Productions on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe and just enjoy watching, guys. We do this for fun. So thank you so much and good night.